Hold on, don't spend all your money on another lens. Not immediately. Maybe not even another camera yet, depending on what you've got. If you are doing projects for clients and it has to hit a certain quality level and you don't have this element that we're about to talk about in this video, then you're not going to provide that quality for your client.
Start talking to Todd. What if we match the Chevelle that you have and you have a twin? Awesome. Good to be the guy that's on the receiving end today.
Yeah, right. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
The anticipation.
Man. Wow. That's nuts. Oh, man. Listen to that there.
Now, I am coming from the standpoint of being a one-man operation. This has been a critical thing that I started doing deeper into my career. I wish I had done it right from the get-go, but I didn't have somebody just telling me, look, you have to. You just got to do this. It improved my videos at least 50%. They got way better, had way more options in the editing room, I had way more story to work with, I had way less headaches. It was a game changer for me, and it's something I tried and then kind of sucked at and gave up on and suffered the consequences for that. And then years later, finally stepped up to the plate and started learning how to do it in a decent way. And it changed everything. So what am I talking about? There's all the buildup. All right, what I'm talking about is...
In a world where nuclear war has begun, vampires fought back in super real 3D.
I'm going to convince you that this is something you have to focus on in a specific way. Body mics. This is a conversation for, in particular, one-person production companies like myself. I do most of the things that I do, like 99% of the time, by myself. Once I had figured out how to get past the scratchiness and the rustle that can happen with clothes, for the most part, I've gotten past that, and I'll show you the exact things that I use to get past that. That's simple and quick and made like, oh, it's that simple. I just didn't realize. Once I did that and then I had some clean audio to work with, it changed everything for me. I was able to not have to be so stuck on the person, like right in their face with the camera the whole time, trying to use my on-camera mic. Now on the Canon R5C, which a lot of you guys that follow my channel or follow me because I use a Canon R5C, one of the big complaints is that it doesn't have XLR ports on it. Well, XLR XLR ports are great. I wish it had that. But it doesn't. What I went and did was I started using on-camera NTG series that are the 3.5mm headphone jacks. And I'm surprised at how well they work. The on-camera mic can be fine if I stay close in. So this wasn't mic'd. Nobody mics here because I just didn't, this happened and I didn't have him mic'd. But you can hear that the microphone itself does fine if you just stick to this one angle.
That the roof, which is an option, it's something you would have to pay extra because these cars are convertible, so you know, all of them.
So like that still works, like that's usable, but I'm stuck here. I can't go further back to show the car in the shot plus what they're saying. Like I have to choose. I'm stuck, I'm married to them, and I'm gonna have to, after the fact, just show a picture of the car that doesn't have them in it to know what they're talking about. Because I use my on-camera mic so little in comparison to the body micing in my projects already. This was the case even when I was using XLR mics that I do have. It totally covered the ground that I need it to because I put most of the weight on the body mics. You get shooting angles. All of a sudden, now you have shooting angles. You didn't have that before if you're filming something live, or even when you're doing a setup scripted scene as a one-man band, you've tried, or one-person band, you've put a boom mic or a couple of mics overhead, or you've tried to stash some things like that's cool. But the problem is that as people move in and out of frame, if the positioning changes and the pitch, they turn their head, you know, they look this way or that way. I mean, these mics are directional. It's going to affect the tonal quality. And then you got this nightmare of trying to make it match because it's super distracting to have that. Body mics solve that. It's always at the same proximity to their mouth. Okay, so here I've got a customer, the customer, walking with the owner of the company for Trans Am Worldwide to see his car for the first time at the SEMA booth. Here's an example of just the on-camera audio. If I was just walking behind them with the microphone on, and I'm telling you, it's not going to be that much better if it was an XLR mic. It's not going to magically somehow change the distance that I'm at or the fact that I'm at their backs.
Do we want to change the color? Yeah, the chrome bumpers. I love it. Oh, you do? Well, we'll see. Yeah.
Okay, so you can hear it. I'll have to do some denoising. It's a little distant. Imagine now in the edit where I've got music playing under it to build up tension and this and that. Versus, you know, here's the Lav mics. Again, no, there's no processing done to this whatsoever. This is just straight out of the mic.
I know. I love. Oh boy. I'm gonna be deciding on the chrome bump. Do we want to change the color? Yeah, the chrome bumpers. I love it. Oh, you do? Well, we'll see. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Versus the distance and the crowd noise and everything from the on-camera mic.
Do we want to change the
You can't even hear the first part of what he's saying, should I choose to use it.
color? Yeah, the chrome bumpers. I love it. Oh, you do? Well, we'll see. I love it. I love it. I gotta tell you, I was going back and forth.
You can see me here. I'm right there. So watch and listen to the sound as I'm walking. I'm trying to stay close to them here for this moment, but when he turns his back, I lose the audio. It's inconsistent. The distances are changing. So here's what it looks like.
I love it. I gotta tell you, I was going back and forth.
See how it changed? Even though I wasn't like changing that much where I was, he kind of pulled away, he turned away, so all that sound's gone versus the Lav mics.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I gotta tell you, I was worried about the color. I was going back and forth. I fucking love it.
I mean, that's just way better to work with, and that's not even EQ'd or anything. And when I have music going there, I can actually separate the frequencies, have it cut through, have the tension building. All that can be there versus denoising the heck out of it with inconsistent audio with the on-camera mic. One of the big advantages that you don't even necessarily think about, and I've done this on a ton of edits, and I'll demonstrate here.
Yeah, this is a beautiful car, man.
Yes, sir.
And all the ones I think I've seen since you've been here all weekend, this is my favorite.
Man, it's mine too right now. I'm telling you. I've been waiting over a year. About a year and a half it took them.
This is nice.
And I'm overwhelmed.
You can actually pick up on the person right next to them as well. If I'm 20 feet away filming a shot of my client, they happen to be talking to somebody that I've never met, that I did not get the body mic, and I do not have a mic over there. The body mic picks it up, and then you can go in and you can just bring down the bass a little bit on the EQ for the person that's wearing the body mic. You're gonna have to do some volume automation, but you can get it there, and I've done that for tons of my videos, and it's how I have a conversation on film rather than not having that at all, and it would have just been a visual. Because of those empowerments, it's going to now give you the ability to really focus on developing story and conversation in your videos more.
Todd,
Hello, Earl. How you doing?
happy to be here, sir.
Yes, me too. So I just have a few questions I wanted to run by you in terms of the arrival and kind of the schedule.
Earl Brown, he met with the gentleman over at M1 that's responsible for events and all of that. Told him we got the special Chevelle coming, the 70SS, we got the pilot car. The guy was enthralled. He met with Earl. It looks like they're going to allow us to put the 70 Chevelle and the SS on display.
Oh.
With the news is going to be there. They want to interview you, me, and they're going to allow me 8 more of my cars to be displayed there on the grounds.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys are bringing another car, correct?
We are. We're bringing another Chevelle.
I'm going to make sure that one of the spots you'll have for the other Chevelle.
If you don't have body mics and you've got just the on-camera mic and you're kind of piecing things together, if you pull away, you're missing, you have gaps in the conversation, you can't stitch things together, you don't know what they said on this and that. The body mics just solve all that. So now as a storyteller, even if you don't have a good shot, you still got the audio and you can cut away to something else and cover up when you had a shaky cam moving into the next position. But the audio keeps going and the story's there and you didn't miss that chunk. So on every front, this really just improves your production, and it's going to improve it a hell of a lot more than just getting another lens. If you've already got a camera and a 24 to 70 millimeter zoom, or let's say 3 prime lenses that cover roughly a focal range around that, maybe a 24, 50, and 85, or a 135 or something like that, then I would say the next thing that you need to focus on hardcore is improve your audio if you don't have some body mics. There's a million different body mics, right? You have the actual recording unit, which I use a Tentacle sync unit, but I also have Zoom F2s. The cool thing about the Tentacle syncs is that they have timecode. Now, why do you need timecode? Well, the first thing that I started off with when I started doing body micing, and this is one of the reasons that I veered away from doing it, was I was buying receiver transmitter units. And those, I'm sure they get better and better. I just, as a one-person production company, I can't use it because I can't monitor that audio to know if something's wrong. And I had 2 different experiences where something was dreadfully wrong. A frequency was coming in from some airplane or something on my frequency. So all the audio was scratched. I filmed this whole very important scene with a customer and his son, and this meaningful moment happened, and it was real, and we couldn't recapture it. And I had no idea that this happened until I got back to the editing room, and where I got to actually edit it like 2 weeks later. So the moment was gone, and I didn't have it. So I personally do not use receiver transmitter body mic units. I use standalone recorders. The F2 is a standalone recorder, the Tentacle sync is a standalone recorder, and all that means is that it's just a mic and a recorder. Lives on the person, no matter where they go. If they go a mile away, it's still just recording. Now, one thing that makes it easier to deal with that type of unit is if you can do timecode. And that's where this unit comes in. So this is called a Tentacle sync track E. That's for tracking, it's the recorder. And then they've got the Sync E, the Tentacle Sync E. I have nothing to do with this company, and there's other options out there. This is just what I bought. But overall, I like these a lot, and they've really helped out tremendously. And a timecode generator can plug into your camera. If you have a Canon R5C, it does have a dedicated timecode port on it. For some reason, I don't know why they're advertising the C50 like that's a new thing that the C50 has, that the R5C doesn't, but the R5C has it. So I use it on both of them, and I have 2 timecode generators, so one for each of my Canon R5Cs. You connect these guys, one to each camera. You then use your phone app and you turn on the wireless units that are on your talent or with you before you hand it to the talent. And then you just hit a sync button. It syncs the time code and it tells the camera that time code, and you're good. Everything's in sync, timed, and it's not going to allow drift to happen because it's constantly sending a signal that tells the time code what to be, because drift can happen if you don't do that. This is not mandatory to do. I've definitely previously to that used like F2s and Tascam D11s, and at the beginning you just try to start them at roughly the same time, and then you can just do 3 hand claps and you got those exact symbols. You can just line that up at the beginning and you're pretty good, but there can be drift that happens, but you can still actually get away with doing that. I did that for a long time, but with the time code, it's as easy as doing this. I'll show you right here. I have a whole sequence kind of just set up to sync, and these are clips that I've already synced up. So basically I drag my time-coded audio over into Premiere, and I could do a separate video about this. It's more specific, but this is a quick example of how timecode works versus just trying to synchronize in Premiere by audio only. That's a real hit or miss experience, whereas timecode's like just works every time. So if I just throw this off again, like here's a clip, I would find a clip that I want to potentially edit or use, or I want to sync up to audio. I would just drag it over in on top of this line wherever, like this is just audio, and then I would just select them both at the same time, and I would right click and I would choose synchronize, and rather than audio channel, which is what you'd normally do if you had no time code, I would go to time code, and because that's been nested into there, I can just hit OK, and then it moves it over. Now I know that that looks a little weird, but that's just because I chopped it in a weird place, but all I have to do is stretch it back out. And if we listen to this and we turn on just that track, it should be the camera audio. And this is going to demonstrate something else as well.
See how black this is? Well, when I put that up against it, they call this black, and it is until you put it up against real black.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
It's almost
That gentleman is also being picked up by the mic. See, it's putting a mic at the right place for both people's conversation. Now, by default, when you buy one of these recording units, all the microphones that come on them are not that great. They're okay, and it's still worth doing, and that's what you can work with initially. I have only two, because they're $400 each, but they're amazing. Sanken COS 11 Lav mics. Now, these come with a little sleeve. I love this little sleeve. It's just a little rubber sleeve, and when you're miking, you want to leave just the tip of the mic just poking out just a little bit out of the top of that. Ooh. How do I stick them on? I use Ryocoat stickies. These are just little circular pads that have a sticky side on them, like that. You pull that, tab off, you put the sticker on the back, and then I just put it onto somebody's shirt. And I usually like to put it underneath the shirt, tape it to the shirt, not the person's skin. And in general, for men, I like to put it like right here where their pec muscle kind of would align, because there's oftentimes a little bit of gap there. Like there's a little bit of floating room. And for me, that works pretty good. And then I'll cater to whatever the clothing is. If it's a button-up shirt, I'll bring it up, and then I'll just put it through like facing this way or up, depending on, you kind of just keep messing with it and you'll figure it out. But the main thing is that if it's there, it's getting way better audio than you're getting from even 5 feet away, especially in a noisy environment. It's crazy. When I'm up against 5 people talking and I'm trying to get everybody's audio and get a wide enough shot that everyone's in the shot, it's very difficult to end up with very thin, uneven, distant audio. But having this on can really help, especially if you've got it on 2 of the people that are involved in the conversation and they're kind of peppered through there, which happens organically more often than you would think. And then I can go in and use the audio that I got off of those body mics rather than just the camera audio. I do like to blend in just a little bit of camera audio to make it sound a little bit more alive. And then there's EQing techniques to bring out the sound of the mic. But the Sanken COS 11s just sound really good. That's going to kind of close out this focus here, but hopefully with the examples that I've kind of shown you of some of the finished videos, you can see how it can come out. The way that I did that was using this. I could not achieve some of those shots or capture some of those moments and have the way that it sounds like that whole conversation. Storytelling is massive, and I think it's really, when you first get into cameras, you're so focused on watching these videos that are just images, and you think, oh my God, that DP is so talented and this looks amazing. And it's like, but if you really sit back for a second, you might realize something, that if you're not looking at this for the purpose of staring at and drooling at the camera and imagery and the shot ideas and the lighting and all that, oftentimes a lot of these videos are super boring if they don't have any dialogue to them. It's like, would you really watch this for 25 minutes? Like, no, it's got to stay short, and you're only watching it because it's a specific camera. It takes a lot. You just don't watch that much content that's only visual. Dialogue is massive, and that's where storytelling can really happen. Yes, you can tell stories with just images, but how many movies do you really watch that are just that? Silent films, come on. Like, you got to get into audio and getting into storytelling and working with people's conversations or getting people to execute their lines and all that, just get them to actually have a story that is conveyed with dialogue, rather than just the images. The lav micing is what is going to open it up for you way beyond what you think. The on-camera mic, it's good to have a nice one, but where it ends up in relation to where the person is oftentimes too far away for decent audio. You can have a great, as expensive as it comes microphone compared to a cheap microphone that's just closer to where the sound is happening, and the cheap microphone beats it all day long. So that's what this is. This is a cheap microphone. I mean, it's not a cheap microphone, but even if you had a cheap microphone, you put it on somebody and it lives with them, stays the same proximity. It's so much easier to work with. You're catching everything that you wouldn't catch, and you can actually then go back to think about your images and where you're positioning yourself, and you have freedom again. You're off the leash of having to be connected to somebody with just a wide angle, trying to hope that you get the audio. It makes sense, right? Okay, go out and get a body mic if you already have one and you're not using it enough. Start using it more, add to it, get a collection of them. These are things that, like, I mean, the more of these that you have so you can catch all these conversations, this is going to improve your actual in video a lot more than just another, you know, lens or two. Like, once you have this, yeah, get more lenses, get other cameras and all that. But if you don't have this and you're only doing on-camera miking, there's a problem there. We got to fix this gap for you, okay? So take care, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Movie voice.